Greetings and welcome to Wizards of Fun. My name is Eric and welcome back to another round from SCG Con Las Vegas. This is pre-Gothic. The meta has changed, the card pool has changed, and I'm behind on uploading these, but still wanted to get them uploaded. Lord of Unland, Simulacrum, and a Great Old One in the hand. So Great Old One's definitely going away, too expensive. The other two we could justify keeping. 4 mana is not too bad. I didn't quite get a look at the sights here. It looks like one of my sleeves was broken here, so I asked if he minded if I threw that one away to put on a fresh one. And then I ripped the old one. Always make sure you bring extra sleeves of whatever sleeve color you're running in an event is something I would strongly suggest. Troll Bridge, Floodplain, and River in our hand. So as you can see, I think by round 6, I was starting to learn that showing the camera the opening hand is good. So I will just make that a way to record moving forward, and I'll hopefully never miss it again. Learning from every event and every match. Better ways not only to play the game, but how to record, edit, upload, and edit them. Looks like we're doing just one site. I agree with that. These other two cards are quite good. Questing Beast. And then we scry on top, hoping for something a little cheaper. This, unfortunately, I didn't show the camera. Nope, I do. Haha. Frog. Decided to keep it on top. I don't think I would generally keep this on top. Because it's a card you want to play later when your opponent is on your side. But since we have nothing else to play, as far as like a low-cost minion, I decided to just get one. I believe this deck runs 2 copies of it. It's exceptional. There's a chance I have 3, so I didn't pull it up before the match. It's been a few weeks. There's a Tufted Turtles on top, so that also looks good. So turn 2, maybe just get a Frog. Turn 3, get a Tufted Turtles. Turn 4, go into something else. Feels like our curve is looking okay. So we do lose the Genesis effect on the Frog by just hard casting it. And we're also playing against a Troll Bridge. So might not be able to move in and attack with it, but perhaps I can have it up to block. And the Frog, hold that thought. Forgetting the name of the card. I wanted to look it up, and it's I know it is the Broadingnag Bullfrog. And it has 3 power. So I suppose it would survive like a desert ping. I decided opt to just keep it as a removal spell for a future hand. Despite having the option, like I said, to play it onto the field. The fact that there's a Troll Bridge there, it's just not looking like something I would really want. Would they even attack onto my Troll Bridge, allowing me to block? Probably not. Let's just keep the card. Sight on the back row. Our opponent, by the way, is Thorin, who is a local player at my local game store here in Portland, Oregon. So I hadn't met him prior to this match in Vegas, but he let me know his story of getting into the game. There was another friend of his who was interested in playing Sorcery, and that friend happened to go to the game store when I was there, checking out the game for myself as well. So we had chatted during this match, or I think beforehand, where he said, yeah, my friend got into the game, and I think you were there the night he first tried the game. So they're all excited to be in the game. I was honored to be one of the people who was there at the card store showing people the game. And now they're full on, they're in, baby. They have joined our cause. The cause being the wonderful game of Sorcery. I'm also fairly new, but am completely obsessed with the game. I don't pretend to be the highest level player or the most knowledgeable, but I am someone who really is very vocal about how much I like this game. So try my best to share it with a lot of people. I've got a couple Magic buddies who are now playing it with me on Tabletop Sim. It's just feeling like it's growing and growing. Tufted Turtles feels fine here. Tufted Turtles right on the Troll Bridge is quite a nut to crack for the opponent. They'll have to, you know, play a desert, ping the turtles, and then still somehow get in. And turtles is it 3 or 2? 2 power. Okay, so yeah, I think in the Steam Druid, he could just play a desert and then Violimp and get through. That's one way to get the turtles. But then you still have to get onto the Troll Bridge, so you have to discard. Valley of Delight here. I didn't quite hear that threshold. Oh, it looks like he has a token. That's neat. Fire threshold. I've been trying to find threshold dice on websites like Etsy, and I haven't found anything. I don't know if Card Dig sells some. I know that they are an accessory. They make tokens and stuff, but if anyone happens to know, I'm on the hunt for some threshold markers. Although I'm opting towards starting to use my phone like Thorin here. You can just see it's very clearly visible on the camera. So I'm probably just, as much as I'm an analog guy, I am not someone who loves using his phone unless absolutely necessary. I'm kind of weird that way. I prefer, so that's why I have like the written pad on the left side here. I think for recording purposes, the app on the phone is what we're going to use moving forward. This makes it easier to visualize for the viewer. So I am going against all of my hatred for using cell phones. I'm going to be using it for the live totals, and I think that'll be fine. But I do enjoy having like the physical dice. As you can see, I use dice to keep track of my mana. I usually use dice to keep track of my threshold as well. But there's other accessories out there too that allow that. So I'm gonna hopefully pick up some accessories slowly over time here. Spring River for a Lugbog cat. Definitely keep that on top. They've got the Troll Bridge, so it could survive the summon to the bridge. I could just cast it right on the bridge and pass turn, and I have a 4-power cat on his Troll Bridge. And then spending my 4 mana for a Ruler of Thule. Looks like I'm going to move an attack to kill his Adept Illusionist. Yeah. And of course, if he gets the other Illusionists and can get them to tap and move an attack for 2 with the turtles, because it survives the Troll Bridge ping. So get him down to 18 here. Love Tufted Turtles, one of my favorite cards. I'm actually not running it in my current deck, my Gothic deck. It's more of an aggressive Illusionist water deck, where Turtles is a little bit more mid-rangey. And as much as I'm enjoying Illusionist, I think mid-range water is where I don't want to say where I shine, but where I get the most excited. So feeling pretty good with my hand here. I mean, playing against Steam Druid opponent is always intimidating. I always feel like I'm probably a little lower on the power level. He swings into Ruler of Thule with Tawny, and then Violent for the final 2. Taps Druid for a site in the form of Kelp Caverns, I believe is the name. You look at 3 at the bottom and put 1 on the top of your deck. So water has a lot of great filtering in the form of rivers and things like that, helping you find your good cards. And Thorin just updating his threshold on the phone app there. It's quite useful. Tawny spawns on the new site. Again, this is pre-errata, so you're watching kind of an older match here. This is what once was a very, very, very powerful avatar in the form of pre-errata Druid. Tawny was unlimited until you flipped. So you could kind of build your deck around that, knowing that you have a spellcaster that should be able to cast things for most of the game. At the very least, like the first 5 or 6 turns in most matches. And now Tawny only spawns for a single turn, and it still dies to deserts and stuff, so I really couldn't see it surviving for very long. I don't think Tawny will ever be kind of a utility spellcaster anymore. It'll just be something you hope to ping for 1, and that's kind of all. Trading the Tawnies, casting my own river to get my Tawny back. Again, pre-errata, we got the cat. I already knew that. But I think we drew, I kind of missed it, sorry when I was talking there, but it looks like I must have then drawn a sight. Forgot that my Lugbog cat was on top still. We got it with the turtles, but because we want to get the questing beast going. Attack and kill violent for free because Stuffed Turtle survives the first hit of any turn. One of my favorite cards in water, in a mid-range water deck. And am I holding the Simulacrum in my hand? What on earth would I be copying with that? No, questing beast. Sorry, I was very confused. And where would we put it? I guess on my own troll bridge. I can move it onto his troll bridge. I could move it onto Kelp Caverns. I can even just put it on floodplain right there. Yeah, that seems fine. Because it just is in a safe position. I don't even necessarily have to use the move. So questing beast is allowed to take a step at the end of each turn for free without losing stealth. And I leave it there. I believe that was Thorin calling for a judge. If I remember correctly, I think this was a match where we both called the judge multiple times. So sorry if I don't pick up exactly what all the judge calls were and what we determined from them. I don't know if I'll be able to hear it in the audio here. But just know that there might be some moments here where we're waiting for the judge to rule something out. If I recall correctly, I think we called judges at least 5 times. And I think we got an extension because of that. There was one where a judge had to call another judge, I think, and you're allowed in events, you know, they might say no, but you're allowed to ask, like, hey, can we get a 5-minute time extension for all the judge calls? Because you do lose 5 minutes of gameplay asking questions about the game, which is just another reason why it's of very good benefit for yourself. Not that it's expected that you know every single interaction in the game, but the more you know, the less you have to call the judge, the faster you can get through your match and get ready for the next match. And this might even sound goofy. It's a little like breaking the fourth wall, but even just being at an event, being able to finish your matches quickly is good to make sure you get a bathroom break between rounds, to make sure you can go grab a cup of coffee, go grab a bagel or something. You know, I think they had breakfast sandwiches at this event, so I ate like multiple breakfast sandwiches throughout the day and bananas and fruit and stuff that they had for sale. But it can be really rushed where you play like a game where you go to turns and then you're the last of, you know, the last people playing, and then it goes to the next round. They're like, okay, rounds are up, and you got to immediately go to your next game, and you didn't get a chance to go take a break. So, again, just to not to put pressure and that it's expected that you know all the rules, because nobody does, but it is a skill, and it is to your benefit if you know how something works, in order to get through a match slightly quicker without needing to call a judge, require extensions. But Sorcery is a hard game. It's there's a lot going on. There's a lot of like exceptions to things. There's a lot of silver and golden rules of like if the card takes precedence over what the rules say. But then there are rules that, you know, it just really depends. There's a lot of like very, very niche, you know, use case scenarios in which how some cards interact with each other. Not that it's impossible. The rules are all there online. It can just take time to look up the codex and figure out what resolves first, what triggers first. Does this trigger before this, causing this to do this? You see my point. So that was their judge call. They were wondering if they can use Simulacrum to copy Questing Beast, and you can. It's a nearby minion. It's not a target nearby minion. You can't target something with stealth. That's what stealth provides. But if it just says, hey, is there a nearby minion here? Copy it. That's what it says. So that's one of the exceptions that I am talking about as an example. So that's a great example. In most cases, you would think, well, stealth units are immune to being targeted and hitting projectiles, so I don't have to worry about stealth. Well, some cards say pull in minion, not target minion. And it... You're seeing it firsthand here. Yeah, so moving at the end of his turn, using the Questing Beast ability to move over onto my Troll Bridge. It does take 3 damage, but damage is not considered interacting with the realm, so he does not lose stealth. But he does now have a Questing Beast in front of mine, so if I want to attack his Kelp with my Questing Beast, he can block and just trade, which may be okay. Feels like a waste of questing beast, but we also have a simulacrum of ourselves. So what we could do here, and I don't want to like jinx what I did in the past because I don't totally remember, but I believe what I opt for here is I copy his simulacrum, or I guess my own beast, and then I move an attack. But it's a hard thing because if I move an attack and trade, they both go away and then I have nothing to copy. Let's see what I opt for here. So I may be saving that for a future turn. I also have the frog though. Can that... Let me reload how the frog is worded. The bullfrog. It swallows another target minion here, so he cannot target the stealth minion in this case. What I could do is play Lord of Unland Submerged to give my questing beast +1 power and then attack. So if he does decide to trade, then mine survives. But I could also just copy the questing beast and then move an attack, and then if he says, okay, yeah, I won't defend. Okay, so casting a questing beast to the same slot, or the same site. Yep, moving and attacking, losing stealth, but if he wants to block and trade, that's his choice. I will still have a questing beast. And then looks like we're just going to move an attack with Tawny for 1. And then my Tufted Turtles can also get in for 2 at the top. Got him down to 10. Yeah, always remember if you're gonna tap and draw a site, do it first so you see what you draw because it might change your game plan. Nice, and yeah, moving one of my questing beasts up with stealth. If he does attack my avatar, that's fine because I have 20 HP. And now my questing beast is out of range of his. So that means unless he can play a defender or he can polymorph it or something with his Tawny, my questing beast that's up front on his Valley of Delight is looking to be in a good tactical position. But I also have my own backup one on the Kelp Cavern as well. So feeling pretty good here. But just looking at the remaining time of this match, it's a long one. So rather than edit out the moments here where we're just thinking and talking to judges, I'm just going to continue talking. I want to get these videos uploaded. I don't want to delay them any further. So we can just chat about Gothic if we need to. I just recall that there's a lot of judge calls in this, so I think there might be some moments where we kind of just have to sit and chat. And I hope you can appreciate that. Green Knight. Let's pull up Green Knight. I believe it's a minion type. And then at the start of... Here, I'll just read it. Whenever an enemy minion can attack the Green Knight, it must. And it's a mortal. It is a mortal, not immortal. It's a mortal. So that's relevant because my deck is playing a Bower of Bliss, which says all mortals become beasts and are not disabled but silenced. So if I can find a Bower of Bliss, I can turn his Green Knight into just a 3/7 dude, which is still a strong toughness creature to get past. But with my questing beast and a Tufted Turtles, I could kill it, for example. So as soon as we draw, the Green Knight attacks my questing beast. I deal 5 to it, but my questing beast survives. Oh, I see. So I think he's just explaining that the questing beast is going to die because questing beast will get pulled in, strike it. Tufted Turtles will come in and strike it, and then when it dies, the Green Knight, the death right says that it can strike a nearby enemy. Oh, and the Troll Bridge also triggers that I have to discard to not take 3, which I think trading everything for the Green Knight doesn't sound too bad. I've copied his, so I have my own. So I'm just considering, like, is it... Deciding not to discard. Take 3, and then they trade. And then the... But shouldn't the turtles have attacked? Wait, we may have messed that up. Because if Questing Beast moves in, I don't discard, it takes 3. How did I kill the Green Knight? What am I missing here? I think we messed that up. I think what should have happened, I think we may have just got lost in the sauce between the, like, what happens first and the discarding, but the Questing Beast should have moved in, taken 3, then attacked, traded, goes away, but the Tufted Turtle still has to attack the Green Knight. So the Tufted Turtle should be on top of his Troll Bridge, tapped. I think we messed that up. Let me know in the comments if there's something I misunderstood in that interaction, but I don't think we did this correctly. So me getting in for any damage here, I believe, is incorrect. So sorry, Thorin, if that's the case. If there was something that we missed, I think that's the case. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but the game continues. You know, it's bound to happen. You know, I don't know if it would change the outcome of this match at all, but it can. You know, my turtles wouldn't be there. It'd be over there, you know, especially in the tactical kind of chess game of Sorcery. It's very important to try your best to catch every trigger, but it can also be easy to miss. So just a reminder to always help out your opponent too if they miss something and you catch it. Don't just keep it a secret. We bullfrog his disabling his Questing Beast, which feels good. So glad that's the bullfrog we've had since turn 1 that we scryed on the top, I believe. So put a cat right next to his avatar. He can't really escape except by going into the Troll Bridge, where I have a Tufted Turtles that can follow him in without dying. So I suppose, like, I could have placed it otherwise right onto the Troll Bridge, so that if he runs toward the other site, I could have my turtles go in. But either way, just getting on his back row. My Ruler of Thrall is already in the grave, so that's not going to matter. Buffing up the cat that's on the back line, but... Judge question, yeah. And I'm curious to hear and remind myself what was deemed here, but yeah, so the question was, when I disable a simulacrum, is it no longer the copy? But it comes in as a copy, so it's still a Questing Beast. So just so you know, if you ever disable a simulacrum, consider it a copy of whatever it came in as. It's not just this like weird transforming, you know, spellcaster type of creature. It is a Questing Beast. Now, I still have it in my stomach disabled. That means it can't move or do anything, and you can even attack it, by the way, with the bullfrog. It's something I didn't know for a long time. I almost considered it as like banished. It's not. It's just disabled underneath the frog, and the frog can do a move and attack to attack something in its own belly, which is thematically kind of funny. Maybe it's because the frog is like on top of it, or however you want to think that. It says it's disabled in its belly, but then you can maybe digest it for 3. How much power is the bullfrog? 2 or 3? It is 3, yeah. So 3, and then maybe attack directly with my Tawny and my Druid that could kill it. Right? The 5 power. If I was really desperate to kill it, if I was worried that he was going to get rid of my bullfrog, I could just take the 5 damage, go to 10, and get rid of his thing. And then I have a 4 power cat on his face. That can definitely get him to door. If he decides to run away with his avatar toward the Troll Bridge. But I also have a Questing Beast up there. So positionally, feeling okay here. Again, though, him being the Steam Druid, there's lots of things that they could do to wipe the board. And then we have Lord of Unland and a Koi Nixie in hand. Total of 6 mana. Looks like we're tapped. Oh, the Avatar, that is. Neither the cat or my Tufted Turtles is in a body of water. So that will not be affected if we decide to play Lord of Unland, which I suppose now, I was saying that Ruler of Thule is in the grave, so it wouldn't affect the cat. But if I can connect the water, then everything in there gets +1. So the Questing Beast goes to 6, for example. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing with this deck. I had a lot of help from Good Luck Bad and Fanatic Glenn, just to give a couple of shout outs. They're sort of the first few guys that I interacted with getting into Sorcery on Tabletop Simulator. And not only were they super helpful for a new player like myself, they're also like some of the top players in the game. So that just kind of gives that, I hope that gives a little bit of paints a picture for, you know, kind of the solid community like I've been mentioning for Sorcery. Like the top players of the game helping out someone like me who literally, Fanatic Glenn, for example, was my very, very first game of Sorcery. And he's a really, really high level, top, strong player, especially in Limited. Him and Frog Mamago went to the finals on day 1 of this SCG Con Vegas, for example, in Sealed. And, you know, so just to have a few, so Good Luck Bad, as he is known in the Discord, is a well-known water player who runs Spellslinger, and he made it to top 8 in this event with Spellslinger, which was a first time. I think it's the 1 of 1. He got a rainbow foil for getting to top 4. So he has a rainbow foil of Spellslinger, which I believe is the only one that exists. All right, so the Bower of Bliss is in hand. So I mentioned this earlier. If there are any other mortals that enter the realm, they will be silenced. Not disabled, but they'll be silenced. So they'll lose any of their non-basic abilities. And they become beasts, if that's relevant. So for my pirate ships that are in my deck, that removes the waterbound restriction, which just makes them 5-power dudes that can go anywhere. That's why this card is in my deck. But if he has other cards that are mortals, like that Green Knight, for example, was mortal, that would also get disabled. Or silenced, rather, sorry. Lord of Unland. Playing it right under the Troll Bridge feels okay. So the Lugbug Cat is now in water, I believe. I believe that back sight of his is water. So the cat becomes a 5-power. Tawny is 2, and his is not. So mine survives. And then I think I move and attack the Troll Bridge to gain the benefit from Lord of Unland. So I take the hit from Troll Bridge, but survive, and then attack for 3. So that was, yeah, a way for me to get around my turtles not being in a body of water. It's like I'll just move him onto the site that is one. So he's already at death's door. I have no reason to attack with my Lugbog Cat. We're going to keep it up. I could move it, I guess, onto his avatar just to get right on top of him. But considering we have a turtle in one corner and then a Tawny in the other, if he does flip the Bruin, Tawny cannot move in without dying because it takes 1 from the Bramble effect of the Druid once flipped. That reads, whenever an enemy enters a nearby site, it takes 1 damage. This is pre-errata Druid, so if you're watching this and are just getting into the game, that has changed. It's now only allied sites that do that effect, which I think makes sense. Bower of Bliss comes in, so just keep that in mind for any mortals moving forward in the rest of this match, that they are silenced. Yeah, and I'm just explaining to Thorin, my opponent, that I run it personally for the pirate ships. I even just let him know. Because again, he's from the local game store. We're both pretty new. So again, even though we're in a, high stakes event, maybe not wise for me to tell him why I'm running certain cards, but it's like, hey, this is a local. We're meeting for the first time all the way out here in a foreign city. No, Vegas is foreign's the right word, but you know what I mean. In a different city outside of town, meeting up for the first time, but we're both from the same location. It's cool to share some info of just our thoughts behind some things. I'm obviously not gonna spill my secrets to lose the match here, but just to help explain to him, he's like, why would you want to run that card, in case he was thinking that. I was more than happy to share that info. So we are moving with the frog, which I should tap it. I may have forgot to tap it here. Oh no, do I use the Koi Nixie to pull it up? Pulling up Koi Nixie here just to see how it reads. Once on your turn, Koi Nixie may force a target nearby enemy. Now, that's interesting. The simulacrum is inside of the frog, and I can pull the simulacrum, but it's in the frog's belly, so it pulls the frog with it. I didn't quite catch if we actually had to ask a judge for that, but I would imagine I did. So another one of the judge calls in this game. Koi Nixie, it certainly gets me to ask a lot of judge calls. The forcing of taking a step when they're airborne, for example, I wasn't sure if I could choose to make them it, but if they're airborne, it does. And it does tap the enemy. So, all right, here's where we asked the judge call. And his question was, okay, first of all, if the simulacrum is silenced, and then I just asked him, if it doesn't work the way I thought, do you mind if I replay that? And he said, sure. So we're waiting for a judge. Sorry, I'm just listening to the dialogue here. Yeah, so I forgot this about our match. A disabled minion cannot move. I suppose you could still target it and it would just do nothing, and like you could tap it. You could probably do that. Like if for some reason you want to tap down their guy to trigger something, or like anytime you target something, something happens. I don't know. You could probably still target it, but I decided to pull back the entire turn, put the Bower of Bliss back in my hand. 4 power on the frog, 2 on the druid. Yeah, and just deciding to, because that thing is just annoying, we're going to attack into his questing beast. And then I was worried that I was going to take damage. And forgive me, in my commentary just a moment ago, I was talking about swinging everything into the disabled minion, but disabled minions don't strike back. So disabling is quite powerful. They can't move, they can't fight back, they're just like a fish, they just sit there. So if I have enough power to kill something that's disabled, there's not a lot of reason not to do it. I mean, there's always different scenarios and stuff, but like if there's nothing else to do for the turn, just swing everything into it and kill it. For whatever reason, I thought that it still takes damage, so I actually forgot. So again, I've been playing a lot of Sorcery. I even played this match, and I couldn't even remember that. I completely forgot. Flipping for Bruin here. Bruin soaks up damage for the Avatar. And then the flipped Bruin also deals 1 damage to anything that moves. So if I move my Tawny, for example, onto his Bruin, it would lose the +1 from Lord of Unlink because it's moving off of water. He plays a Polar Explorers and an Adept Illusionist, so if that Illusionist survives, it can tap to pull the other Illusionist from the graveyard, and it gets summoned nearby, which creates kind of an infinite blocker combo. So I think right now, I'm trying to get him to door, but outside of that, like the Bruin, Adept Illusionist is a big threat that needs to get removed. Koi Nixie in hand and a Bower of Bliss. I think Polar Explorers are mortals. I'll confirm that really quickly. They are. So that would disable them. And I believe the Adept Illusionists are also mortals, so they would both get disabled, just become 2/2 guys. So we're just, I was just confirming I can move Tawny to any of the water sites and survive. But Tawny's also a spellcaster, so, and I just drew a polymorph. So I would imagine what I'm thinking here is, all right, from Tawny, we're gonna definitely polymorph that Bruin. And then we're gonna play the Bower of Bliss, turning off his other 2 minions. So his Adept Illusionist, I no longer have to kill it. I can just disable it. Well, turn it into a frog, right? So, or no, sorry, disable it. Yeah, polymorphing the Bruin. I misspoke a little there. Getting him the frog token, and then I can just silence the Adept Illusionist. So rather than having to kill it, I just silence it by playing a site. And then I'm probably considering how I can get in with Tawny before I play my site. But it doesn't look like there's anything that Tawny can do here. I don't have a trinket or anything to make it survive. Even if I wanted to try to swing in and trade with something. So move an attack to the Avatar to see what he blocks with. Probably block with the frog. I think I'm trying to bait out Polar Explorers. Interesting. Yeah. I think my thinking here was like, I'm going to silence them anyway. So let's attack and see what he blocks with. And I was able to trade with the Polar Explorers. I think I was surprised by this. I even am now watching it because I think a frog would have been fine. Because he doesn't... Well, no, he does know I have Bower of Bliss, to be fair, because I had to take a turn back. That's probably why he did that. He's like, well, it's going to get silenced and turn into a 2-guy anyway. Let me just, rather than chump block, I'm going to get rid of your turtles, which has been... not only has it been a threat the whole game, but it does threaten getting him to door for sure. So there's no reason not to just move an attack with the cat here, let him trade a frog, just to start removing his blockers. He no longer has Bruin, he's on door, I'm at 15. I could even start moving my Lord of Unland up, submerged, just to lock down his Troll Bridge. Although Lord, I think it's only 3 power, right? So I'd have to discard to do that. Lord of Unland. Yeah, it's only 3, so I would have to discard if I want to do that. I decided to move up my frog, just started to kind of move in. Tawny still is a threat, meaning if his Avatar wants to start running away, Tawny will get in. Just can't really move from that site. Koinixie, just in a strategic spot. If anything is with nearby, I can move it, pull it around. It's also just the closest I can cast her. So I guess ideally I can move her next turn. Bower of Bliss, no cards in hand. All mortals are now silenced, so... And I think in that match, I didn't even realize... Like, you could see me doing a fist bump. I'm like, yes, I didn't even realize... I was actually really nervous about the Adept Illusionist. I was like, crap, he's going to be getting Illusionist every turn. I wasn't able to kill it. I moved an attack, and he blocked with Polar Explorers. And then he goes, actually, so he was a good sport. So thanks, Thorin, for being cool about that, you know. Again, correcting my mistake and going, nope, actually, these are silenced. It's just a 2-power guy that doesn't do anything otherwise. With Gothic moving forward, there's a ton of sight disabling. That's going to be really interesting, as there are powerful cards. And on that thought, I'm going to pull up this Dragon Lord card, because I don't remember all that it does. Only that it does whatever it does every turn, I think. And I didn't, just thinking back to this match, I think I didn't quite realize that his effect happens every turn. It reads, 5-power minion with Airborne, and at the end of your turn, you may choose 3 of your dead minions, banish 2 of them to return the remaining 1 to your hand. So, without being able to look at his cemetery, Vile Imp, Polar Explorers, and Green Knight going back to the hand. Yikes. So he can't play it this turn because I believe he spent all of his 7 mana to get the, what's the name of it? Zerafine Cone Rule. I have not played with that card personally, but it's the Steam Dragon. The dragons are seeing more and more play. They're definitely not like meta defining, but like in my water decks, when I can play a mid-range Vatten Draconis, which is the water dragon that submerges things, I play it every time. Shrine of the Dragon Lord isn't bad either. Ramps you up, provides threshold. I think moving forward into Sorcery, it's only going to be more and more of a useful playset of cards. So let's see. We could move Lord of Unland up just to get up there and discard. Probably not ideal. I think I like having him closer to my side of the field, providing the buff. He has 2 blockers that are on top of my cat. My Tawny can't move in. What I could do is move Koinixie up, pull something away, and then attack the Druid, but he could, and it taps down the thing. So I could pull up his bird toward Trollbridge, or maybe to his back sight on the right, the top right, but it taps it down. I don't know if my past self realizes this. You can move Tawny up, tap down anything, and then attack with the cat. So it looks like I may be making that realization here. Move Koinixie. One of my favorite cards. Deciding to move the Druid is interesting. But if I do that, he can just block, right? With the... Why would he not just block with the... Oh, because I have 5 power, I think is my thinking here. Like, he can chump with... Chump there. Tawny has the potential to get the Dragon Lord if I can tap down the other thing. So maybe that's where my head was at, was I'm just trying to set up that kill for Tawny. You know, I have 4 minions technically that can, well, not the frog, but I have 3 minions that could on next turn attack into his avatar. If he moves his avatar anywhere, same story. But kind of a 4 because I can use Koinixie to move it wherever I want. Tap draw sight again. If you're gonna tap the draw sight, do it first, because it might change how you play the game. Or it might change how you play your turn, knowing, oh, next turn I'm gonna have this, so we should do this. It's hard to catch though. Sometimes you're playing your spells and then you play a sight, which is the right thing to do. Sometimes you don't want to show them until after the thing happens. So it can be very easy to miss, and I miss it a lot. I'm trying to get better at that. At the beginning of the turn, am I playing a sight? No. Is there any reason I shouldn't just tap and draw a sight now? But also you could, do I want to threaten that I have a sight that I want to play? Yeah. But if they also, I think that's a cool thing about Sorcery though, is you can see how many sights they have in hand. So if he sees I don't have a sight, he knows I can't, like, okay, he's not going to get that additional mana to do the bomb spell that he might have in his hand or something. So again, just a big appreciation for the tactics of this game. It's not only a matter of getting the right spells and having a cool deck and playing them in the right order, and like other games, it's much more of a chess game. All right, Tawny's gonna probably die, but no, it doesn't, because it's 2 power due to the effect from Lord of Unland on my Trollbridge, under my Trollbridge rather. He recasts the Green Knight. And if I remember correctly, Bower of Bliss, I did not realize is disabling the Green Knight here. And I've mentioned that it disables mortals and turns them into beasts. So at the beginning of my turn, my stuff will not attack into his questing beast. So I think at this point in the game, I have 1 attacker, 2 attackers, 3 attackers against his 2 blockers. And it sounds like he is explaining to me, this is all I can do this turn, and also you win because your Bower of Bliss disables my Green Knight. Good game. So yeah, again, just a good sport from Thorin to call those sorts of things out. Maybe, a player of lesser moral could absolutely just let it happen, and then 2 turns later go, oh yeah, that should have happened, but it's too late now. That not to say, and I think we decide to, I said, hey, do you mind if we just keep going? I just want to see what would have been the right play here. I'm not forced to attack, so I wanted to play out my turn, and he knew, he's like, yeah, you've already won, but go ahead and play your turn. Oh boy, yeah, and I've got a shapeshift for my Tawny, for example, to buff that up. We have enough just to deal the damage. He's got Airborne, but I can use Koinixie to pull it and tap it down anyways, which again, I don't think I realize here. So in reality, he only has the Green Knight with 7 defense to block. but he can only block one of the attacks. So you just use Koi Nixie, pull over the bird, attack with anything, he blocks it, and then I attack again. So we have it no matter what. So this isn't in an effort for me to kind of, you know, tap dance on his corpse. You know, it's just, you know, I'm here to learn the game. And it's like, hey, do you mind if I just play my turn? We've got the time. I've got the time to play a pirate ship without Summon Sickness. And then in whatever order here, we just move and attack. And again, I still don't think I realized that Koi Nixie taps down the minion, which is a very important part of that effect. And has become one of my favorite cards. I've added Koi Nixie into my aggro water interrogator deck. Despite the deck that I kind of got inspired from running Fey Changelings in order to play them onto any site. I found that Fey Changeling for 1 power, getting a little sidetracked here. The game's already done, sorry, but we can talk about it another time, but there's a water aggro interrogator deck that was running cards that could be summoned basically anywhere through Voidwalk or maybe cast to any site. Fey Changeling is a card from Arthurian Legends that reads, maybe cast any site, and it may return another minion here to their hand, but it only has 1 power, and I found that it just dies to deserts and to Rings of Morrigan, so I actually cut them out and put in 3 Koi Nixies, and added in 3 copies of Thin Ice into the sites. So if you guys are wanting to talk shop about Gothic, that's something you might be able to chew on and leave a comment on. I will be making some videos of that deck when we play in the online Sorcery IRA League. Make sure you join. If you're not able to join the current league at the time of watching this video, please make sure you take a look at when the next league is starting. There's a Discord called Sorcery League. It's run by Ira LaFay, who is the Codex keeper of the game. He's a very strong player, but he's a gentleman. I've actually had the honor of playing against him. And it's a free league that you can join, get dust rewards, and just learn the game. So I'll be making some of those videos of those constructed games with Gothic cards soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next round.